Okay, cool. So this is basically going to be how you can scale to 10K per month in 2025. Now, 10K per month is obviously, the buzzword in the industry. Everybody wants to get to 10K per month. Um, it's more so about, I guess, making a sustainable agency because you can hit 10K per month, but if all your clients churn and you lose them all immediately, then, that's not very good. So it's more about making a sustainable and consistent agency rather than just naming for, kind of vanity metric goals. So I am a 27-year-old entrepreneur from Ireland. I started my agency 4 years ago and I was working a 9 to 5 at the time. I was able to scale up very, very quickly, but I had a huge issue with churn, which is why I'm going to be massive on predictability and consistency with your agency. So I was able to scale very, very quickly. I got to about £17,000 after 3 months, but a lot of my clients were churning very, very quickly because I didn't really know what I was doing on the service delivery side of things. But now I've automated my agency and I'm able to enjoy life whilst, my operations guy runs my agency. I have about 10 team members in there right now and I delegate, I manage. And my scaling strategy with my agency is actually buying other web development agencies, performance ads agencies, PR agencies, branding agencies, and folding their contracts into my agency. And that's how I grow my agency. And the photo on the right is, I've used that on purpose because that was me last year in Dubai. And the guys on my left are 7-figure agency owners. And this is me on the right, on the left, sorry, starting my agency. That is literally me in my parents' bedroom. That's my agency logo in front of me, probably outreaching or something there. I'm not sure quite what I was doing. But in 4 years, I went from my parents' bedroom to sitting on a yacht in Dubai with other 7-figure agency owners. This was a yacht party purely for agency owners, organized by a big YouTuber that a lot of you probably know. And it's pretty insane. Like 4 years, I went from my parents' bedroom, no clients, to sitting on a yacht with 7-figure agency owners. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to show you the opportunity that's in the agency space. Massive, massive opportunity. And there still is. There still is. I'm going to talk a little bit about my students and clients, like insane results. 21-year-olds from Texas, 21-year-olds from, Seattle, scaling their agencies to salaries, 6-figure CEOs work their entire lives to get. So you can move very, very quickly in this space. And we're going to talk a little bit about that later. And the truth was, I was just like you. So I don't know a lot about the guys you're watching or the guys or girls who are watching this. But 4 years ago, when I was starting my agency, on the left there, I'm drunk in college, not even looking at the camera. And this was my first day of my 9 to 5 job. Like, there's nothing special about me. I'm no genius. 4 years ago, I was exactly like you. So, as I say, I'm massive on this. Anybody who I work with or anybody who I coach, like, you do not have to be a genius. All you have to have in this space to do really, really well is have a great work ethic and show up every single day and stay committed. And when I started my agency, when I committed and really, really committed to going all in and making this work and stopping at nothing to making this work, my life changed forever. And if you had said to me 4 years ago, 3, 4 years from that date, that you'd be doing £48,000 months, I would have literally laughed in your face. I would not have believed you. So you can move incredibly quickly in this space and you can make real, real money. So keep that in mind. And I was in your exact position not so long ago, literally in your exact position, weighing up whether the agency space was the right model for me, whether I could actually make money with it. And when I don't want to exaggerate, but it is by far the best beginner business model in terms of making real money, because you can do drop shipping, you can do trading, you can do whatever you want. They're not tangible real businesses. They're not actual tangible real businesses where you're building a brand, where you're building a company, where you have employees. The agency space is very, very, it's tangible. It's very, very tangible. You're building an actual brand, you're building an actual business. And it's changed my life. It's allowed me to travel the world, exotic locations, focus on my health, drive nice cars, network with 7-figure entrepreneurs. You might know some people in these photographs. On the left, they're 7-figure agency owners. In the middle, 7-figure agency owners who've worked with Eman. On the right, some big YouTubers in the space. So you might know some of these guys. And if I didn't start my agency, I never would have got the opportunity to meet any of these people. So that's a little bit about me. I don't want to talk to you more about me because this is about you and scaling your agency. And so that is it. I just want to show you who, is taking this workshop, why you should listen to me. And if I know, that I know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to show you how to set up a 10K per month agency in one day using AI. I'm going to show you how to scale to 10K per month using cold outreach, and then how to 10x those results with AI. I'm then going to show you how to scale to 30K per month using my hybrid funnel system. And for anyone who stays to the end, I'm going to give you a little bonus reward. So that's what we're going to be covering today. And as I say, it's going to be very, very intense. So get your notepad out, get a coffee, get ready for this because I'm going to go through a lot of this in detail. So the first thing I'm going to look at is this. I'm actually just going to check if anyone else got a notification there. Someone else is trying to join, just let them in. Okay, cool. So the first thing we're going to look at here is kind of 10K per month fundamentals. People overcomplicate this so much. When starting out, you need to choose a niche. You need to research that niche so you're at a 9 out of 10 knowledge in that niche, because whatever niche you choose in the agency space, there's quite literally going to be thousands of other people in that niche already trying to do whatever you're trying to do. So it's not so much about the niche, because you can make the argument every niche is saturated, but it's not really saturated. It's just competitive. But you want it to be competitive. You want competition because that means there's opportunity. So how do you get better at a niche than all these other agencies that are doing the exact same thing, boring offers, spamming people with cold outreach? How do you get better than them? Well, you research your niche and you get a 9 out of 10 niche knowledge, because it's insane how many people I coach. And on our kickoff call, they're telling me they're in the med spa niche, or they're in the gym niche, or they're in the contractor niche, or whatever niche they're in. And I simply ask them a question: if you were to rate your knowledge in that niche on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you know nothing and 10 being you know everything, what would you rate your knowledge? Every time without fail, it's a 3, it's a 4. If we're lucky, it's 5. So if you're telling me you have a 5 out of 10 knowledge in your niche, how are you going to sell people in that niche? How are you going to do well on sales calls? How are you going to create a no-brainer offer? How are you going to have conviction, confidence in that niche? You're not, because you haven't done the front load of work, you haven't done the due diligence, and you haven't done the research in order to make that niche a 9 out of 10 knowledge. So I'm going to talk about a little bit more about how we can do that, but that's the very first thing. Now, if you haven't chosen a niche at this point, this is an SOP doc that is in the course, the free course over in school. You need to have at least 50,000 leads in that niche. The product or service must be sold for $500 or more. If it isn't, then it's not going to be profitable. It's not going to work. Their annual revenue needs to be over 250K. You need to be able to access their data easily. If you can't access their data easily, you're not going to be able to scrape emails. You're not going to be able to do outreach. So it's not going to work. You need to know if they run ads. If they're not tech savvy and they don't actually want to run ads, or they don't want the market, well, then it's not going to work either. And you need to have at least, I always tell people when choosing a niche, choose something you have some foundational knowledge in. Choose something that, you might have a 3 or a 4 out of 10 knowledge in. So you only have to go from 3 or 4 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10. If you have to go from a 1 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10, that is a huge, huge gap you need to bridge. So it's a lot harder. So choose something you have some knowledge in. Choose something you have some passion in. There has to be something. These are some simple prompts that, again, are on school that can help you choose your niche. But a lot of people probably have a good, in the back of their mind, they probably think, I might go with this niche, or I might go with this niche. Very, very few of you are going to be at a complete blank slate with a niche. So I'm going to move on from that quickly. The next thing on the niche is the research. So how do you do the research? How do you find out? How do you get to a 9 out of 10 knowledge in your niche? Well, I've provided an SOP doc that you can use. And you can use AI, you can use ChatGPT, but what I don't want you to use is, and this is, people do this all the time, they go on ChatGPT, they put in these questions, ChatGPT sends them back a load of answers, and they just stick it in a doc and say they've done their due diligence, they've done their research. That is not what I want you to do here. I actually want you to learn this stuff, because this is really, really important. If you learn this stuff and you become very, very knowledgeable, you're going to have confidence, you're going to have conviction on sales calls, and you need to be telling business owners in that niche things they didn't even know. And you need to impress them, and you need to be a person that they want to work with. And after the sales call, they need to be saying, shit, that guy knows what he's talking about. Like, I want to work with that guy. That's the kind of impression you want to leave. But you can't do that if you do not have a 9 out of 10 niche knowledge. So this SOP doc is to help you with that. So does the niche have their own language, buzzwords? What's the top 5 marketing agencies in this niche? This is a really, really good one. This is really good because you can see what the market leaders are actually doing. What language are they using? What offers do they have? What's their funnel? What questions do they use on Calendly? A lot of the time when you go and do this research doc, you'll find out what a good cost per lead is in the niche. You'll find out all of this really, really useful knowledge that you can leverage going forward when you're actually selling to people in this niche. But there's a ton of questions here. I'm not going to go through it all now. but you need to put in this research. Like this is compulsory. Like you have to do this. Yes, it's a lot of work, but I mean, no one's going to hand you a six-figure agency on your lap and say, there you go, there's a six, seven-figure agency. This is the work you need to put in, and you only need to do it for a couple of weeks or a month or 2 months. To be honest, you need to constantly be learning about the niche. But if you put this front-loaded work, you're going to be so much better than all the other agencies out there, because all the other agencies out there, they just want to get rich quick scheme. They don't want to do any of this work. They just want handed money, the easy way out. This is the work that's going to separate you from the masses, that's going to separate you from everyone else in that niche. So you need to do this. So this is in school. Go and grab that and start doing the research. But the other things are then, what service are you going to do? So when I say the niche bleeds into everything, this is what I mean. When you have a 9 out of 10 knowledge in your niche, you're going to know what service they want. So for example, some niches, Facebook ads might work better. Some niches, Google ads might work better. Some niches, you might want to do appointment setting or lead gen or go high level automations, but you will know that if you have done the niche research. For example, if you're a gym agency, I know Facebook ads work a lot better for gyms than Google ads. But if you're a contractor agency, local lead gen agency, I know Google ads work a lot better. So you won't know this until you do the niche research, and it's like a domino effect. Everything bleeds in. So then you need to decide on your service. My advice on the service would be keep it simple. At the start, you're a beginner, so you are the worst you'll ever be at ads, at outreach, at sales, all of these different things, all of these components of an agency. At the start, you're the worst you'll ever be at all of them. So keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it, because that's going to give you issues down the line. Now, the next thing is the name, the website, and the logo. I did not have a website for my agency for like 2 years. Not massively important. But you do need a name, and you probably need a logo. So I would keep it very simple. Go on ChatGPT. I just did this morning before this. Tell it you're a digital marketer planning on starting an ads agency in X niche. Can you give me a list of 10 potential names? Like, these are all pretty good. FitFlow Leads, Iron Grip Marketing, Gym Grow Media. Just choose a name. You can always rebrand down the line. It's not that important. And in terms of a logo, like, I literally did this in 5 minutes. Like, lifted leads. I thought that sounded pretty good. This logo was 10 times better than the logo I started with. So this is an AI called Brandmark. If you want to write this down, brandmark.io. It's like you put in a load of keywords about your company, and you kind of give it prompts on how you want the logo to look. I think it's like $40 for a logo. Again, super simple, takes like 10 minutes. So there's your name, there's your logo, takes 5-10 minutes. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Then there's your niche research. The next thing is a website. So a lot of you have probably heard of Go High Level. If you haven't heard of Go High Level, I'd highly recommend that you start researching it, because it's probably the most important software in the agency space. You can create a website on Go High Level in literally, I don't even know, like an hour. Like, you just choose one of these templates, you add your logo, you add in some copy. This is literally, you just click sites and Go High Level, and you go to templates, and it's an unbelievably easy website builder. Now, Go High Level does cost money. The cheapest option on Go High Level, I think, is $99 per month. But if you're very, very serious about, growing your agency, it's a software you need to have. So I would recommend going on Go High Level if you want a website. Again, it's not massively important. When I started my agency, barely anybody even asked me about a website. They're more concerned with, you and your offer and how you can help them. So the website isn't massively important. But there you go. That's the website. So if you weren't on this call, you probably spend weeks and weeks, and some people in some cases spend months on this. Like the niche, the service, the name, the logo, the website, running around like circling in a hamster wheel, like overcomplicating this. It is not important. If you want to take one thing away from this call, move at speed, move it fast. Perfection kills growth. Perfection kills success. Nothing needs to be perfect. This is going to evolve over time. You're going to iterate this over time. So literally after this call, you could go and do all of this. Obviously the niche is going to take some research, so I'd recommend spending time in it, but the service, the name, the website, the logo, those should not take that much time. So that's that. The next thing is client acquisition. So this is obviously a big one. When I say client acquisition, I'm going to be focusing on cold outreach here. Now, over the last couple of years, my thoughts and kind of my hypothesis on client acquisition has changed. But at the start, if you are, I guess, cash per and time rich, so like you need to spend a lot of time on cold outreach if you have a lot of time. If you don't have a lot of money, you don't really have many options. You have to do cold outreach. So You have to spend time on cold outreach. You need to get to 5 clients. This is what I tell all my guys. You need to do whatever you can to get to 5 clients. Once you get to 5 clients, you're going to have cash coming in. You're going to learn what it is to be an agency owner, or you're hopefully going to get 2 or 3 testimonials. So 5 clients is the magic number. And once you get there, you can run my hybrid funnel, which is going to make your life very, very easy on the client acquisition side. So you need to get to 5 clients as quick as you can. I'm going to show you how you can do that, leveraging cold outreach. And then I'm going to go one step further and show you how you can leverage AI with cold outreach to make your life a lot easier. But remember this, write this down. 5 clients, that's what you need to get to. Because once you get to 5 clients, you'll maybe have 1 or 2 that wasn't a great client. They're probably like a 1 or 2 star client, and you didn't really get them good results because of whatever reason. But you usually will have 2 or 3 that are good clients that you've got good results for, and that be a very good case study. And then all you need is 3 case studies and some cash to run the hybrid funnel. So you need to build an outreach strategy. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But at the start, your main focus with your agency is booking appointments and getting good at sales. That should be your main focus, booking appointments and getting good sales. And every single day when you wake up and you're working on your agency, excuse me, you need to be asking yourself, what am I doing to book appointments and get better at sales? Now, the free course on School has like 15 lessons on getting better at sales. And I wish I had a resource like that when I started, because sales is something that literally you can only get better at by getting in the reps. Because you need to be on sales calls, you need to be asked uncomfortable questions, you need to be, doing objection handling and just getting in the reps. That's why in my program we do role plays, because the only way you get better at sales is just by getting in there, being put in intense, uncomfortable situations and getting better at objection handling. More on that later, but now let's get into kind of the outreach roadmap. So with outreach, and this is a huge issue, people jump into SMMA and they don't do what we just talked about. They don't get a 9 out of 10 niche knowledge. Just letting somebody else in there. They don't get a 9 out of 10 niche knowledge. They have a shitty offer. Their service is all over the place. They don't really know what they're offering. Their pricing is all over the place. They're racing to the bottom, giving people free trials, and their pricing's all over the place. They have no confidence. They have no conviction in anything. And then they jump into cold outreach. They don't get any results. They get frustrated. They think SMMA is saturated. They think, you could have did it 4 or 5 years ago, but you can't do it now. They jump into AMS and FBA. They jump onto the next thing. And it all stems from not having the right foundations in place. It literally all stems from not having the right foundations in place. So if you have the right foundations in place, if you have the niche knowledge, if you have a good offer, if you have a good service, if your services are priced accordingly, then on cold outreach, you only need to speak to 100 people before you get someone who's interested. But if you jump in and don't do all of that foundational stuff, you might have to speak to 3,000 people, because you might just get someone on a lucky day that's been thinking about Facebook ads. They might book in on a call. So that's where all the problem stems from. And you need to have these foundations in place. Your mindset needs to be dialed. Your niche needs to be dialed. Offer, service, pricing, all needs to be dialed. If it isn't, you're going to get very, very frustrated with cold outreach, because you're going to have to speak to thousands of people. So I'm assuming you have all of that dialed. Now let's go into how we can actually make cold outreach work. So with cold outreach, it is a numbers game. It is a numbers game, but you can do things to increase your conversions. So let's look at the data. Let's break it down and let's get very, very methodical and strategic with it. So if you're outreaching to above 50 people per day, if you're not outreaching to above 50 people per day, you either have a lead gen problem or a motivation problem. When I mean a lead gen problem, you don't have enough leads, or your leads are really poor quality. So you need to revisit that. You need to look at where you're getting your leads from, where you're scraping them from, if you're scraping enough, or you have a motivation problem. Do you even want to grow your agency? Because if you're not doing 50 outreaches per day, do you really even want to grow your agency? Do you just like telling people that you want to grow your agency? Because outreach is tough. When I first started my agency, working my 9 to 5, I was getting up at like 5:30, doing 3 hours of outreach before I started my 9 to 5. And then when I came home, I was doing another 3 hours. So that's what you have to do. Like, that's the bare minimum. You have to ask yourself, do you even want this? Or do you have an accountability issue? Like, accountability is massive in entrepreneurship, massive, because I speak to my guys all the time about this. It's probably the only industry where, you have no one making you do it. There's no one standing over me making me do this workshop today. There's no one standing over me making me jump on calls or do sales calls or any of that stuff. You have to be self-motivated. You have to be self-driven because it's a very, very unique space you're getting into. And there's a reason there aren't 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs in every corner. It is hard. It's a simple business model, but it is hard. You have to show up every single day. And again, back to mindset. However, let's assume you are doing above 50 outreaches per day. And let's say your meeting set rate. So basically, for every 100 outreaches you do, you want to look at a 1 to 2% meeting booking rate. If it isn't around 1 to 2%, then you need to look at your outreach. Do you know that you have a bulletproof offer? Do you know you have a bulletproof offer? Or if you're sure about your bulletproof offer, then you need to look at your script. What is your outreach script? Is it boring? Is it like everyone else? Is there any customization in it? If your script is good, or you're sure that your script is good, maybe it's your strategy. So this is how we need to look at outreach. You can break it down very, very methodically. Now let's say you are booking 1 to 2%. Now we look at show up rate. Is your show up rate above 60%? If it's not, then you need to look at things like a pre-call sequence. Then you need to look at, are you qualifying these people to jump on these calls? You need to look at the numbers. Now let's move on and let's say it is above 60%. Now we look at close rate. So is your close rate above 25%? Now, if you're selling something that is your offer, like you're the director, you're the CEO, you're the boss, your close rate needs to be around 25%. Excuse me. If it isn't, you have a sales problem. So it's either your script, it's your tone, it's your qualification. If you're selling something that you directly own or you're involved in, your close rate should be around 25%. If it's not, you have a sales problem. So you need to go in, you need to look at your script, you need to look at your tone, you need to look at your qualification. I have videos on my YouTube channel of the exact script I use to close. I paid Cole Gordon a shit ton of money for it. So literally just go and take that script because I know it works. And if you use that script, you will close above 25%. But if you aren't closing above 25%, it's a sales problem. So you need to look at your script, your tonality, all of that stuff. Now, let's say you are closing people. What's your churn rate? If your churn rate is 10% or below, you have a service delivery problem. So you need to look at your service delivery. And this is a massive, massive thing. Again, I work on it a ton with my guys. Service delivery is an afterthought when it comes to the agency space. And it has given the agency space a bad name. And it's really, really important. If you watch any of my YouTube content, if you watch any of my Instagram content, I always say getting 5 clients and keeping hold of those 5 clients is a much better business model than getting 5 clients and having to constantly refill your bucket, every single month. When you work so hard to get clients and they churn on you, it is gut-wrenching. It is totally gut-wrenching. It is not good. So if you're going to work hard to get these clients, make sure you know what the fuck you're doing. Make sure you're good at ads. Make sure you have all of your systems. Just like there are so many good resources out there now on YouTube. Literally so many resources. Back when I started 5 years ago, there wasn't even half this amount of stuff. There's no reason you can't be good at ads. There really isn't. There's no reason you can't be good at ads. So you need to teach yourself ads and get good at it fast. Because if you aren't good at ads, they're going to churn like crazy. And on top of that, if you are good at ads and you know what you're doing, you're going to be so much more confident and concise on sales calls. If you actually believe in yourself, if you believe in your product, believe in your service, you're going to be so much better at ads and sales. Then we get to total capacity. So this is kind of operational. I'm not going to get into this too much because most people on this call will be beginners. But you will eventually, if you get very good at this, you will come to an operational problem where you have a team capacity and you need to start hiring out and looking at management, operation managers, all of that good stuff. So I'm not going to get into that too much, but that is literally how you need to look at outreach. You need to be very methodical and you need to go through every single step. Also, one thing that I didn't mention, if you're not tracking your outreach, you may as well give up right now. You need to track your outreach. I believe there's a tracker in the course. If you're not tracking your outreach, you may as well give up right now. Because if you're not tracking it, how the hell do you know what's going on? You don't know any of the numbers. You don't know if you're doing well or you're getting responses. You need to track your outreach. That is literally the baseline minimum of what you need to be doing on this. And if you are tracking it, you can track all of these KPIs very, very easily. Now, when we were going back to the start, and this says above 50, God's honest truth, you need to be aiming for 200-300 outreaches per day. And you can do this very, very easily with AI. So when I say above 50, like that is the bare minimum. I would be aiming for 200 to 300. And we can do this using AI. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to reiterate, for this to work, your niche, your offer, and your service all have to be dialed in. If they aren't, or, if I was sitting on a coaching call with you right now and I would say to you, how confident are you in your niche? How confident are you in your offer? How confident are you in your service? If you're in two minds, if you're kind of, you're not that confident, then you need to go back to the drawing board, because this is only going to work if you are. So the main platforms for outreach, we have cold calling, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or X, email, and text message. So with AI, you can automate this to insane degrees. And these are some of the platforms I've used in the past. So you've obviously got Go High Level, where you can set up a power dialer and literally nail cold calling every single day. You can get through like 100 calls in like 60 to 90 minutes. You've got Phantom Buster, where you can do Facebook or Instagram. You've got ManyChat, where if you're putting out content, you can set up automations. You've got Drippy, which is a brilliant one for Twitter or X. If you haven't thought about doing outreach on Twitter or X, it's the only platform, the only social media platform that doesn't have DM limitations. So you can literally DM as many people as you want. It's a really, really slept on strategy. I have a video on my YouTube channel if you want to go and check that out. Email, we have Instantly, and then SMS, we have Go High Level. So with these softwares or AIs, whatever you want to call them, like, you can easily be doing 100 of these per day. And the reason, like, cold calling, people don't like cold calling because it's hard work and they don't want the rejection. Cold calling is the most effective outreach method by mile. Literally the most effective outreach method by mile. Now, if I was to say to you, you have to cold call for a month and you never have to cold call ever again, and you're going to grow a successful six-figure marketing agency, what would you say? You'd obviously say yes. So it really comes down to how bad you want it. If you want quick results fast, cold calling will get you those. But you don't need to cold call. You can use these other softwares. And when I say 100 outreaches per day underneath these, that's like, again, the bare minimum. You could do so much more, but this is how you get volume. So if you used all of these softwares, all of these AIs across all of these different outreach methods, and you're doing 600 per day, that's 4,200 per week. That's 16,800 outreaches per month. And this wouldn't be that expensive. Like, I would say your total software cost across all of these would maybe be $200 per month, something like that. It really wouldn't be that expensive, maybe $250. But that's how you get volume. And if you did this for 3 months, there's no world where you don't land 5 clients. If you've got a dialed in niche, a dialed in offer, dialed in service delivery, and dialed in pricing, and you implement all of this, and you're doing 4,200 outreaches per week, 16,800 per month, and you do that for a couple of months, there's no world or reality where you don't land 5 clients. There just isn't. If you do this, if you literally implement this, there's no reality where you don't scale your agency. So if you want to take a note of these, and you can use these for the different platforms. So the ones that are directly below are the ones, so calling, Go High Level, Facebook, Phantom Buster, Instagram, ManyChat. So take a note of those, and that's how we can get our volume in to actually run these numbers. So these numbers that we just discussed, that's how we can get the volume in order to assess. So that's cold outreach. I'm going to park that there. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the hybrid funnel. So I don't know if any of you have seen the hybrid funnel in the course. All you need is 5 clients and 3 case studies and a little bit of cash coming in. And you can implement this, the hybrid funnel, which is literally going to transform your agency. The hybrid funnel is ads and organic content, sending hyper-targeted followers and leads to your Instagram profile, and you're in your DM setting these people on your Instagram profile, and you're booking meetings. You can book meetings from anywhere from $60 to $70. It's insanely powerful. All my clients who are implementing this right now are scaling like crazy. And all it is content. So Instagram content, YouTube content, and not like crazy editing on YouTube. You can do like Miro board style content, just like we're doing right now. And then you're driving profile visit ads to your Instagram page. And I'm going to show you how I do this on my Instagram now soon. But it's a hybrid funnel because it's using ads and organic. It's a hybrid of both, and that's why it's so powerful. Oh, someone else is coming in there a little bit late. So basically what this is, you are running content. So let's say you're putting out 1 YouTube video per week and you're putting out 1 Instagram reel per week. You're driving traffic to your Instagram page through a profile visit ad. So let's say you're in the contractor niche. You are calling out contractors. You're telling contractors how you get them results, and then you're asking them to give you a follow over on Instagram. They're then going to follow you, and you're going to go through a very, very simple appointment setting framework, just like this. I'm not going to get into too much detail on this. I'm just going to kind of go top level on this strategy because a lot of you are beginners, but it's good to have a big goal. It's good to have a big goal. So we've just discussed how you're getting to 10K per month. Now this is how you're going to get to 30, 40, and 50K per month. It's really, really good to have big arching goals because then you can work towards them. So you're going to have a DM, very, very, very simple DM structure you're going to set. So if we go back to the top of funnel, profile visit ads coming into your Instagram profile, middle of funnel, nurture, Instagram content, stories, YouTube free trainings, and then bottom of funnel is booking sales calls with this very, very simple DM structure. Now let me show you how that works kind of on my Instagram profile. Might be a bit easier to understand. So on my Instagram profile, I run a profile visit ad. Say, are you an agency owner that wants to scale to 50K per month? You can do this using my hybrid funnel system, X, Y, and Z, how the hybrid funnel system works. Shoot me a follow if you want to know more. People then go on my Instagram profile, they shoot me a follow, and immediately they see pinned content, case studies, Instagram reels, story highlights, YouTube content. So we're getting nurtured. We're nurturing the leads coming on my profile. Now, if we didn't use this nurture and they would book calls, they'd be super cold. They wouldn't know, like, and trust me. I'd have to do cartwheels and backflips on the sales call to close them. And yeah, it's just a lot more difficult. Now, if you use nurtured content, the sales calls become like onboarding calls. Really, really important paradigm shift. We then go into DM conversations. A lot of the time, they'll DM you. They'll DM you wanting to work with you. They book a call and they close. And I'm not exaggerating. This method will get you to 50K per month so quickly because it is so untapped. There's no one doing this. There's no one doing this in the agency space. So that's the big goal. That's where it's going to get really exciting. That's how you're going to get to 30, 40, and 50K per month. Really, really important. So that is the training. We've been going for about 40 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through kind of the little bonus. So for everyone showing up on the workshop today, I think there's only like 11 or 12 of you. I am going to give you a little bonus offer that is just for you. So it is for my coaching program. I'm going to go through a little bit of how it works. If you don't want to get pitched, if you're not interested in this, if you just want to hear for the free value, that's absolutely fine. Go and get a coffee. It'll only take 5 minutes or so. But I'm going to go through a bonus, a little bit of an offer I'm doing for everyone who showed up at this workshop on my coaching offer, on my mentorship offer. So if you don't want to get pitched, go and grab a coffee. I'm going to run through that quickly now, and then we're going to do our Q&A. So let's do that right now. So let's go back to our Canva. And let's get into it. So this is for my one-to-one mentorship program. And I'm going to explain a little bit about how this works. And I've coached now at this point over 170 agency owners. I've been doing this for 3 years. I've coached a lot of agency owners. I've basically coached every niche, every offer you can think of. And here's some testimonials. So Isaiah scaled to 20K per month. We did an interview on my YouTube channel if you want to go and watch that. He was actually at 16K. He's now got up to 20K per month. And we have Jackson, who was in the weddings niche. He scaled to 12K per month in less than 45 days. And we have Sad, who's doing 40K per month with his Go High Level agency. We have Jordan, who's doing 17K per month with his short and long form agency. These are all guys that started at 0 with me, and we scaled them up to these marks using the systems that we just discussed. We have Shane, who's in the restaurant niche, who's doing 20K per month. We have Tala, who's doing 25K per month in the GHL and social media management niche. We have Tony, who's in the restaurant niche, doing 16K per month. We have Carl doing 15K per month in the contractor space. We have Abe, who scaled to 10K per month in 60 days, literally using the hybrid funnel. Again, these are all interviews on my YouTube channel. You can go and watch. We have Wayne, who does 30K per month with his coaching agency. And the best thing about all of this, these guys were literally on a call like this, like you, thinking about scaling their agency or growing their agency or kind of messing around with the SMMA business model. And they booked a call and they scaled their agency like crazy. It's insane. I say it all the time. Like, a lot of them guys are like 21, 22, 23. Can you imagine how long you'd have to work as a CEO to get to that salary? And these guys are scaling these agencies in like 6, 12, 18 months. It's insane. So if you're on this call, you likely have the mindset. You likely already have the mindset. You just need a system. You need a system that you can follow to get you the results you're after. And really, you have 3 options. So I've given you a lot of value. I've given you a lot of information. I've given you a lot of things you can go and action, you can go and do. So you can either do nothing, which a lot of people choose to do, and get no results. You can go it alone, and who knows if you'll get the results. You might get the results, you might make the mistakes, you might get there in 6 months, you might get there in 12 months, you might get there in 2 years through trial and error. However, with mentorship, you are guaranteed results because I offer a 5-client guarantee and you're offered to get there fast. I want to move fast. It's really, really important you move fast in the space because the faster you move, the quicker you're going to validate the business model and you're going to validate to yourself. You can actually make entrepreneurship work. Really, really important. So right now you are wherever you're at. Maybe you have 1 client, maybe you have 2 clients, maybe you're thinking about giving this a shot. What we're going to do is we're going to set out your agency goals, and together we will make a plan over the next 3 to 6 months to help you achieve those goals inside the one-to-one mentorship. So some of your goals could be add 10K in monthly recurring revenue to your agency. It could be grow a personal brand on Instagram or YouTube. It could be buy your dream car, have a stress-free and growing agency, a dream lifestyle, whatever it may be, grow your network with other entrepreneurs, whatever your goals may be. So what is included in the mentorship? Well, my USP with my coaching and why I get the results I just showed you and why my students do so well is I coach everyone I work with. It's all one-on-one with me. I coach everyone you work with. If you book a call in with any of the SMMA gurus or coaches or big names in the space, you're not getting anywhere near them. I coach everyone one-on-one because I know that's what gets results. And the first thing we do is an agency roadmap plan. We work out how we're going to scale your agency. We optimize your offer. We look at your niche. We create your unique mechanism, which is something we haven't even discussed yet. Your unique mechanism is probably one of the most important things you can do in the agency space right now. We're going to deploy the hybrid funnel. Depending on where you're at, we might do the 5-client accelerator first, but we're going to eventually deploy the hybrid funnel to scale you quickly. And then we're also going to discuss and execute our organic strategy. If I had started organic, content when I first started my agency, I'd probably be 10x where I am now. Organic is king. So we'll discuss that. The next thing is you get access to my network of contractors. So media buyers, I tier these for affordability. So depending on where you're at with your agency, I have options. I have actually 3 different options for media buyers for you to use. You get access to all of this. You get my social media managers, GHL experts, virtual assistants, content editors, appointment setters, sales reps. I like to place you with high quality contractors because it saves a ton of time and it allows you to leverage them to scale your agency. You get regular one-to-one calls to track progress, one-to-one accountability calls to track progress, discuss ad performance, review KPIs, discuss organic performance, keep you accountable, answer any questions, and plan and execute goals going forward. You get full access to the course materials. You might have seen, if you're in the free school group, you might have seen all of the different courses. So this is a mentorship. It's one-to-one coaching. I don't really like to kind of get too hampered down on the courses. Courses are courses. They don't really get you results because information is information. What's going to get you results is help with the implementation, which is what the coaching does. But you do get like 9 or 10 courses, like something like 250 lessons on everything from Facebook ads to go high level, VSL funnels, self-mastery, AI is all included. You get client rewards and prizes. So in the paid community, I reward my clients with prizes. So you'll see here, this is me and my client Jackson in front of the London Eye. Last year, I ran a competition and it wasn't just for who scaled their agency the quickest, it was for who engaged in the community, was a leader, helped other people. And Jackson, really credit to him, he was amazing. He helped so many people. And I flew Jackson. Jackson's from North Carolina in the US. I flew him out to London. We had a mastermind weekend together. We talked about our agency goals, had some nice food, had a good time. So there are rewards inside the community. And to sum everything up, it's a one-to-one kickoff call, discovery call, strategy call with me, whatever you want to call it. And you get access to my network of contractors. You get regular one-to-one calls to scale to 10K per month. You get a killer community. You get all course material and you get client rewards. That is essentially how the coaching works in summary. And I'm looking for 5 agency owners who want to add 10K per month to their agencies in the next 3 months. So I'm only taking on 5 agencies because I have other businesses. I have my acquisitions company. I can't coach a ton of people because it's all one-on-one, takes up a ton of my time. So I'm taking on 5 people. And at the start, I said there was a bonus for everyone who showed up to this workshop because I really, really appreciate you showing up to this workshop. It shows you're action takers. It shows you're committed. It shows you're serious about growing your agency. Everyone who shows up to this workshop, if you DM me the word scale over on school, I am going to give you a huge discount. So I am going to give you 6 months for the price of 3. So usually my mentorship is 3 months long, but for anyone who showed up to this workshop and the first 5 people that DM me on school, I'm going to give you double. So I'm going to give you 6 months mentorship for the price of 3. That's only for people who showed up to this workshop. So I think there's 12 of you, and that's only for people who are on this workshop. It's going to be 6 months for the price of 3. All of those things included for 6 months, but I'm only going to charge you 3 months. So anyone who wants to kind of take advantage of this, anybody who wants to, be mentored and get some coaching, that's the opportunity that's ahead of you now. And to apply, all you have to do is head over to school and DM me the word scale. Just DM me the word scale. and I can take you through the next steps if you are interested in getting some coaching. I'm only taking on 5 people. You must be driven and committed because I'm going to be working one-on-one with you, and I don't want any time wasters. I don't want any bullshitters. I want people who are super driven, killer mindset, killer attitude. And please, you need to be able to invest. Don't message me or don't try and come on if you've got like $300 in your bank account. It's a coaching opportunity. And again, something I haven't even mentioned on here that much, you're guaranteed 5 clients. Most people who work with me get 10, 15 clients. So if you're interested in that, head over to school and DM me Scale. And yes, now that is all of that done, we can get into a Q&A. So if anybody has any questions on any of that, just unmute yourself. Actually, you know what a better way is? If you have a question, just raise your hand, and I'll say your name just so everyone's not speaking at the same time. If you have a question, just raise your hand and I'll shout out your name and we can do a Q&A. Straight in, Alan. My goodness. Take me out to dinner first. What's the cost of the one-to-one coaching? You'll have to DM me and find out, man. If you're interested, DM me and we can have a chat on school. No questions, guys. After that workshop, no questions. Conan, what do I think of the dentist niche? Well, that's a very interesting question, Conan, because I actually did the dentist niche for about 6 months. I'm going to go up, grab a drink because my mouth is so dry. So I did the dentist niche for, I would say, 6 months. And the reason I did the dentist niche is because I was actually trying to buy a dental practice with my acquisitions company. So I wanted to learn how to market in the niche. I wanted to learn everything I could about it because I wanted to market my company. So what do I think about the dentist niche? The dentist niche is tricky. And that's because if you take a dental practice, okay, most dental practices are owned by what's called a principal dentist. Now, I don't know how, kind of thumb on the pulse you are with dentistry, but most practices are owned by someone who's called a principal dentist. And he is the guy that does all the root canals. He'll do all the big surgeries. So the problem with the dental niche is they're incredibly difficult to get in contact with. So if you think of your outreach campaigns, you're going to be contacting these clinics. You're going to be asking to speak to the principal dentist because he's the decision maker. The problem is he's always in the chair. He's incredibly difficult to get hold of. And whenever you do get hold of him, he's busy, you mightn't get time for a call. He's kind of, it's very, very hard to get hold of the decision maker. And that's an issue I ran into myself. Now, the hybrid funnel would work well for the dentist niche because the hybrid funnel, dentists come to you. You don't have to do that. Dentists, the principal dentist could be sitting home on a Saturday. He'll see your ad, he'll follow you, you'll get in the DMs and you'll book in with him. So what I would say on the dental niche is if you have experience, if you studied it, if you have some sort of an outlier or some sort of a USP that you can leverage, well, then it might be worth exploring. But this is something that we'd have to discuss on our kickoff call. We'd have to really, really, get into the weeds with this and see what your experience is and weigh up the pros and the cons. And, we'd have to look at your situation and study it in more detail. But that's what I'd say about the dentist niche. Is the website design a good niche? So I wouldn't say the web design space is a niche. Web design is a service. It's actually not a niche. So web design is a service. As a service, it can be good. It can be very, very profitable. I have a friend who runs a web design niche and he charges like 4K per web design and he gets a contractor on Upwork to build it for like $500. So his margins are insane. And then he upsells them on the end. So he'll build out the website and he'll say, after the website's built, we actually have an ads branch. And most people who use our ads branch after we build a website, get a 2, 3, 4x ROAS pretty much immediately. And then he upsells them on the ads because the problem with web design is there's no recurring revenue. And that's kind of the great thing about the agency model, that recurring revenue. So with the web design, you kind of build it out and there's no recurring model. There might be a small recurring model with like domains and like hosting and things like that, but nothing crazy. So if you were going to do web design, bear in mind, web design is not a niche, it's a service. And also I would have some sort of an upsell on the back end in terms of ads. So you can have that recurring model coming in so you can actually continue to make money from the client. But There is big money in web design. What do you think about the construction niche in the UK? So the construction niche in the UK is quite broad. I would probably advise to, so I have clients in the construction niche. So unless again you have some sort of a unique experience or you have foundational knowledge or your parents are in it or you studied it or whatever, I would go sub niche within the niche. So let's say you choose construction. So could you go roofing contractors and could you go landscapers and could you go kitchen remodelers, something sub niche within the niche, because the nicher you go at the start, the quicker you'll get results. Construction is quite vague. So for example, if we were starting our outreach campaigns and we were just doing construction, where would we scrape our leads from? It's such a broad term. Construction could have like 30 sub niches within it. So my advice would be go a sub niche within construction. There's tons of them. It'll make your life a lot easier. You'll be able to land clients a lot quicker if you go sub niche within the niche. Uh, for me, what's the best niche at the moment? So the thing is, in my opinion, I have quite a unique opinion on niches. There's no magic niche because whatever niche you choose, there'll be hundreds, if not thousands, of other people doing it already. There's loads of people in this space. Now, fortunately for you, there's tons of bad agencies. There's tons of people who don't know what they're doing. So whilst that can kind of people get their back up about agencies, if you're even a little bit better than these guys, if you just do that due diligence on the niche, if you do a little bit of research, if you get good at service delivery, if you actually sell people what they want, you have a really good offer, you're just going to steamroll all these guys. You're going to steamroll them because you actually just have a bit of competence, a bit of a knowledge and intelligence around your niche. You're going to sound so much better. You're going to have so much confidence and conviction. You're going to be so much more concise. So there's no perfect magic niche. Whatever niche you choose, there's already going to be a ton of people doing it. So what you need to do is do what everyone else in the agency space isn't willing to do. Put the due diligence in, learn that niche, get really, really good at it, make a no-brainer offer, have confidence, have conviction in what you're selling, and you will scale. Because there is like marketing, people overcomplicate marketing. You just need to sell people something they want. Just sell people something they want. If you sell people something they want, you will scale your agency. How about video editing? So yeah, video editing, there's so many niches within video editing. Is it short form? Is it long form? Is it done for you? There's so many niches within video editing, but again, of course it works. Of course it works. I must get 15 video editors write to me every single day saying, do you want me to edit your YouTube? Do you want me to edit your Instagram reels? Literally the same boring message all the time. And a couple of weeks ago, interestingly, a guy reached out to me. He'd obviously done his research and he'd learned what, people like me, people who have a YouTube channel, people who put out content, he learned what our pain points are, what we want. And he wrote to me his offer in Instagram. It was, I'll create you 4 YouTube videos, 30 Instagram reels every single month. I'll script them. I'll edit them. I'll do the captions. I'll send them to you. And if you don't get 30,000 views, I'll work for free. And I was like, wow, that is a great offer. That is a great offer. That resonated with me. That hit all of my pain points. I booked in a call. Now, I didn't hire him, but I booked in a call because his offer was so good. I was like, well, there's no downside for me. I might as well hear this guy out. So again, it goes back to the niche is not important. If you learn what the pain points are, what people want, what they don't want, and what resonates with them, if you learn all of that, the niche doesn't really matter because you just need to get in front of enough people and you'll get calls booked and you'll land clients. So that's a really, really big paradigm shift for everyone on this call. The niche is not the most important thing. The knowledge, the pain points, creating an offer that people actually want, that's what's important. And what's the difference between service and niche? Difference between service and niche is, so like your service is Facebook ads, your service is Google ads, your service is web design. So your service is what you do, and the niche is who you serve. So the niche could be building contractors, roofing contractors, dentists, gyms. So your service is what you do and your niche is who you help. Any other questions, guys? Cool. Well, I hope you all really enjoyed this call. What I'm going to say is, if you got value from this workshop, if you could post it in the school community, you could just post if you enjoyed this workshop and what value you got from it and if you've enjoyed it. Everyone who posts about the workshop, I'm going to choose one person to get a free coaching call from me personally. So if you post about this workshop in the free community, literally just because it's going to take you 5 minutes, all you have to do is stick up a post, say you got value. I'm going to choose one person to get a free coaching call from me. But yeah, if you have no other questions, I'm going to end it there, guys. Really, really enjoy this. Hope you got some value from it. And I will see you all inside the school community. So have a great rest of your week, guys. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll catch you soon.